It's the first week of September and the garden's really winding down now. So today I'm going to harvest some watermelon, some pumpkins, and pretty much the end of my tomatoes. So these are my watermelons. We only ended up getting 2 watermelons. Despite the vines growing pretty well, only 2 watermelons formed. Well, actually a third one formed, and it was about the size of that one. But all of a sudden, it just died and shriveled up and disappeared. So we've got these 2 small sugar baby watermelons, and I'm gonna harvest them. And I'll end up pulling out the plants from here. Although they're still green, they're not producing any flowers anymore. So you'll need to have them in there. And besides, it's too late in the year to have any more melons develop. So we'll clear that out. Maybe I can use that to plant some lettuce, some radishes, or something like that. So this is the watermelon. The little curly thing here has died and dried. So it's probably could have been harvested a while ago. So we'll just cut that off. And I'm not sure how well that hollow sound that you're supposed to go by works, but I'm pretty sure this is ripe. This one's got this little spot, which will happen where it's been resting on the ground, hasn't gotten any sun. Its curlicue is pretty dried too. So I could eat this like an apple or something if I didn't want to try and go through the rind. But this is a smaller one, about half the size, I think, of the other one. And but like I said, it's a good one-person snack. And as I said, these plants, although still green, no flowers, no fruit, and too late in the season to have anything else happen, so we'll just pull them out. And these will go to the chickens. I've got my cantaloupe vines mixed in with this and never got any cantaloupes out of it. They just never produced any fruit. They had tons of flowers on them, no fruit. So into the compost bin they're gonna go as well. Stop stepping on the vines, I could pick them up. This was one of the cantaloupe vines. And you can see the remnants of the flower on here. Like I said, they were covered in flowers, so I thought for sure I'd be getting melon, but nope, never happened. These are my sweet potato vines, and over here as well. And I'll give you a hint. I was rooting around in the bed just to see how well they might be coming along. And there are sweet potatoes in there, but they're small. I thought for sure I'd be getting some really monster sweet potatoes, considering how healthy and big the vines are and the leaves are. And again, I didn't put any amendments into the soil, which I heard was supposed to be better for the sweet potatoes. They tend to like cruddy soil, but I'm still not getting anything. Now it's been 4 months, so they should be getting ready to come out. I think I'm just gonna have to let them, yeah, construction's still going on around here. I'm gonna let them go for another month or 2 and see if the extra time in the ground lets those potatoes swell up. But I'm feeling disappointed about what I'm expecting to come out of this bed. So I'm going to be harvesting this pumpkin and the other two that are outside the fence. It's time, I think. The vine, as you can see, suddenly got hit with powdery mildew. So it's on its way out. I'm hoping that this pumpkin will turn. It is starting to turn, and the vine at the end of it, that way, doesn't have the powdery mildew just yet. So I'm hoping there's enough juice left in the vine to let them ripen, because I got a couple of other pumpkins on here. I got a small one here that's just starting to turn, and then I got another one over here that's also just beginning to turn. So again, I just hope there's enough life left in the vine to let them finally ripen. But I'm going to get those two pumpkins on the outside. So with pumpkins, the thumping test apparently isn't what you want to go for. And you want to look at the color, the weight. It feels like it's pretty good. And then the stem. So everything looks like it's all good. So I'm gonna give it a shot. And that's a nice little pie pumpkin there. And along with the other two, which are slightly smaller than this one, I should be able to get a pumpkin pie or two out of it. So these are a little bit more hidden in the vine, but also don't want these two one of the other tests is you're supposed to press your nail into it, and if it doesn't leave a mark, it should be ready. So I guess I'll start with the one in the back here. So again, a nice little pumpkin, very little. And it looks pretty ripe. You also want to leave an inch or two of stem on top, because if you cut it right down to the base, you invite rot to start inside. So there's one. And there's the second. So, not a bad little trio. And hopefully those other three will ripen up real fast. And the last thing I'll be harvesting is tomatoes. These are the last two slicing tomatoes on the vine. So I'll be able to pull out that tomato vine. These were from the homegrown seed, home saved seed. And aside from that little mark there, we'll let them ripen up inside. I put them in paper bags and let them ripen. And then right across the way is my Roma tomatoes. This still has a lot of green ones on it, so I'll end up allowing this plant to go a little bit longer, since it does have plenty on there. And we got one way back there. As I said, I like to get them when they start to show the a little bit more than a blush of orange on them, and then ripen them up inside in the paper bags. At the back of my garden here were the extra Romas that I had, and as you can see, these are a little bit riper because I haven't been out here in a day or two. So I'll be picking a lot of these off and there's not too many tomatoes left on these. So within a week, I imagine these plants will be done, and I'll be tearing them out. Now up here you can see I've got some flowers forming, and I'm going to tear this off and basically cut the tops of the tomato plants off, so whatever green tomatoes are on here, all the energy of the plants will go towards ripening them up. I'm going to do that for all the plants that I got back here. But for now, I'm just going to start picking these tomatoes. And the amazing, well, not amazing, but interesting thing about these Romas is they really just pop right off the vine, as you just saw with that one that fell to the back. I got a couple on the ground I can see, but I got a few over here. Oops. Yeah, they like to jump, that's for sure. Take this here. And down here, got another one. Let's see what else I got here. So I got 2 on the ground. I'm going to pick them, 3 on the ground, and then I'm going to go around to the other side and harvest the rest. These are my in-ground parsnips here, so they're looking quite healthy and doing quite well. So, but they got another couple of months to go. Probably around November I can start harvesting them, but they're looking really healthy, so I'm hoping for a decent parsnip or 2 to come out of there. And then in the center bed is my squash bed, and I got a couple of squashes, a couple of small ones right now, one right down there. I got one really big one in here, and as you can see, it's got a little bit of the powdery mildew on it. But right back here, that's a real nice one. So I'm going to try to address the powdery mildew on this. I think a milk spray, they say, can control the powdery mildew, so I'll be spraying that on the vine. And I got another small one right here. And I think there's one more small one somewhere. Oops. Or not. But once those ripen real quick, I'll take them out and get these beds cleared out. My squash vine escaped from me here, so I'm probably gonna head this off here and stop it from growing, because it is amongst my carrots, which are looking pretty good. Not quite as many as we started with, but they're still looking okay. And then last, this is my celery. I haven't started harvesting any yet, though I probably could. The stalks look good. Not sure how well any of this shows up, but the stalks do look good. And as I need some celery, I can start picking it whenever I need. I guess I can show you here too. These are the carrots that we planted in buckets, and they're looking quite healthy, including those in the containers in there. So that's all doing well. These are the turnips that we planted. They sprouted within 3 or 4, maybe 5 days after we planted them. And the beets are over here, and they've started coming up, but they were a little bit slower to germinate. And they I'm not sure if some of this is weed or beet, so I'm going to let them grow a little bit. Like this I know is a beet. This is a beet. There's a few beets back here. So we'll see what turns into a beet, what turns into a weed, and then we'll cultivate as necessary. But we're going to get some beets. Like I said, these are really old seed. These are the ones from Baker Creek. And I think they're in 2020 I bought the seeds. So that they germinated at all, I'm kind of happy with. But we'll be getting all new ones next year. It's not a bad little harvest. I'll get a pumpkin pie or two out of these pumpkins. I'll have a nice snack with the watermelons. And I'll add these tomatoes in with all the other tomatoes that I've already processed. And with the tomatoes, I'll take them, put them with the other tomatoes that I've already processed. And right now I have them sitting in the freezer. And then we'll have tomato sauce for a good part of next year. If you want to see what we're doing in the garden last week, check out this video right here. And then subscribe and hit that notification bell. And that way you'll be able to follow along on the progress on all of our vegetables as we try to grow a supermarket in our own backyard. Okay, thanks for watching.